Yes, my name is Yakisha Oxenine, and this is for the Brown Hospital. Um, we have been having a few problems with the communication skills, so I had brought some ideas of what we could do to better enhance those skills. So, elevating the hospital, the employees are averaging about half of their communication skills. Different levels of communication are lacking from discussing information with clients to dealing with patients. A lot of the patients have been complaining about, what hasn't been done and what has been done. And I think that one way we can implement it would be with standardized testing. So the hospitals around the world, these countries have seen an increase in their hospital satisfaction rate since they have made changes. Australia, Finland, France, Germany, they've all had a higher rate because they have seen where their hospitals have started to implement changes to help out and do better. And standardized testing would help Brown Hospital to expand their reach into communication with everyone that's involved. The testing would be able to show where somebody struggles and where somebody is advanced. And if you was to fail the test, then you would be able to go to school to be able to learn different type of communication skills. And these could be implemented with the managers, the bosses, the supervisors to be able to help their staff to better help the individuals that need communication. Hospitals in comparison with communication, pay, and tuition, you can tell that communication for Browns is a lot different from Fayetteville, Lumberton, and Bladen hospitals. With Fayetteville, you have a higher rate for communication, where Browns mostly focuses on tuition and stuff like that. And as far as getting a job, the pay level is all about the same, but the communications really there's a big difference lacking. After standardized testing was done, then individuals who have passed will be allowed to move on, and they will be able to maybe help people that they work with, and the managers will be able to assist them in their professional skills by interacting with the staff and helping make their relationships with patients. And I feel like if you was to make relationships with the patients and with the staff, you would have better communication skills. So you would do a lot better. Um, a lot of the problems that they have been having was getting assistance and problems communicating with the workers. We had a few bad complaints about the staff at the hospital, and workers having negative comments about other workers. So I feel like with this would be able to show who's really lacking and who's doing pretty good. Um, this here is another chart showing where the employers, the patients, the volunteers, and the family. It shows how many people are actually interacting in the hospital. You see that the patients are the biggest part, the employers are the biggest part, and then you have the family and the volunteers. The family and the employers play a big part in it, even though the patients is the largest amount, because at the end of the day, you have to have a good, strong communication with the patients to be able to tell what they need or how they feel or stuff like that. Your communication has to go through the staff, and it has to go also with the patients. If the patients can't communicate with the staff, then they're not going to be able to tell if they're in pain or if they're having a problem or anything like that. And if the staff can't communicate with other staff members, then someone's going to go lacking in some areas. Classes, if you was to fail the test, then classes could be taken in any college to help improve your communication skills, and the tuition would be around $1,500 for a student. The hospital could actually pay to help you get involved in this, and I feel like if the hospital was to pay, this would help them out in the long run, because this would help them to be able to have staff members that can advance in their ranks and possibly get better jobs. And this would help them with their decision making. Also, if an incident was to come up where somebody come in like in a car wreck in an emergency room or something like that, they would be able to make fast, quick decisions. So I think tuition would also benefit the hospital, because if you're paying, then the employees are more likely to want to stay and work for the hospital, because they'll feel like the hospital actually helped them out in educating them. And the employees will be able to pay half of their tuition while the hospital would pick up the other half. So both of them, in the end of the day, is coming in helping each other out. Um, with everything that has been said, I personally believe that we would have a stronger and more developed hospital that would be able to exceed the needs of our patients and staff if we can implement these type of communication skills in it and start with our managers and our supervisors. We would have a stronger benefit towards the hospital, the patients, the staff, and everyone else that's involved, the volunteers and the family. And the family would see that, the staff is communicating good with their patients, with their family members, and they would be happy that their loved ones are at the hospital being seen there. So I think this is a big deal for the hospital to really start at the top and work their way through the chains to the bottom to be able to make differences in their communication and what everyone needs to and what they need to do. So I think this would be a huge difference if we was to actually implement the communications with the testing. So in my personal opinion, this would be the best way to do this.